Hi. Routing audio signals seem to be a very daunting task for me. However, as I'm kind of using different gears, I've come to the realization that it's not that complicated, I think. So here is how I route my entire audio signals. My main goal when I was kind of putting all of this together was the ease of use and kind of reduce friction as much as I can. But to start, the brain of this whole thing, I would say, is the arturia minifuse 4. This is kind of the brain, but also kind of the Achilles heel of this whole setup. As you can see, I've taken every plug from the back that I can, but I have two USBs that always kind of dangle somewhere, where I can just plug very quickly the launch pad, my keyboard. I have the MIDI out of the minifuse. Right now it's sending MIDI from the DAW or from the minifuse to whatever kind of external gear I'm trying to send MIDI to. The main output is my speakers, my monitors, and then the 1 and 3 and 4 output, is going into my mixer, and then the 1 and 4, 3 and 4 input comes back from the mixer. I have the two inputs right here that I'm not necessarily using all the time. Alright, so next I have my mixer. Every signals eventually comes to this mixer, even kind of the DAW signals from time to time. On the first channel, I have my cassette player. I just route things in and then start playing. Easy to kind of sample as well. On the second channel, I have my microkorg. That's where the microkorgs live. The third channel is kind of again like these sort of placeholder things. Right now it's the monotron delay. On the fourth channel, I have the Roland S1. On the fifth channel, I think I have the outputs from the computers. So like anything that I kind of rearranged in my DAWs. On the sixth channel, I think I have the SP404 kind of, plug in and stuff like this. And the last two channel that I'm not using is the channel 7 and 8. And then because this mixer has a send and return, so then I also have a send and return channel. Right now my only send and return is the Zoom MS70 CDR. So then this kind of allows me, because of the way this mixer has a master effect knob, this is then just the send and return from the mixer. I think I have a beat here. Let's do a little test, I guess, on how the send and return works. So have this little beat here. So right now all of this is coming into the fifth channel on the mixer. I have a little bit of drives and things like that, a little bit of EQ. But just to kind of go back on the Zoom, right now it's completely dry, no effects on the channel 5. That's kind of cool. Let's put maybe something a little bit more obvious, I guess. in Logic, I can eventually send per group base, or I can send the entire session. In this case, I chose to send the entire session because I wanted the entire session to kind of have a certain effects to it from the zoom. Of course, this might not be ideal when I'm kind of looking for a very distinct effect, I guess, like a delay or something like this. But if it's something like chorus, a reverb, I guess it's kind of cool to send the entire thing. But again, I can send like individual channel bass. But right now I'm sending the entire thing. I'll put the IO plugin on my sub bus or sub mix. Now one thing that you might not see here is the KP3. This KP3 in itself is actually a really good effects unit, send and return wise, or even just direct effects. However, I haven't really found I guess what I can say space to put it. It can be eventually, again, like send and return will be the zoom and the KP3, so out of the KP3 into the zoom and then to the mixer or something like this. Like I said, the whole point is to kind of like plug something in and then start playing. And this is living this out is not good, so yes, I'm kind of working on how I can add this to the whole roster. So yes, if there is any, I would say my main kind of gripe about the setup is the audio interface. I only have, I guess, the limited outputs, so like 3 and 4, and then aside from like my main I guess outputs, which are the speakers, 3 and 4 is kind of like the additional outputs. I mean, if need be, then I can eventually single out every 1, 2, 3, 4 outputs. That is a little bit useful in kind of a sense of I guess live setup, where I need to kind of send the kick, the drums, the bass, and the synth or the music piece separately so I can mix them. But in this kind of whole kind of everyday setup, this is a little bit limiting, because if I want to do those single outputs, then I have to reroute my main speaker and have to do a bunch of things, but that kind of defies the goal. Other than that, I think it kind of works well. Like I mentioned, the KP3, I don't really know where to put this yet in this whole setup. It's more of an effects unit, I guess, so there is no real need for this to kind of be occupying a single channel on the mixer. So I guess the idea is to have this as kind of a send and return, and then adjusting the level if needed. Moving forward, I think something that is missing within this whole setup is some sort of audio processing, maybe a compressor, a limiter, an EQ, to kind of like, before the signal hits or comes back into the audio interface, it's then being processed by something. This is my audio routing right now. It's a little simple, I think. It's very small, or not small, but I guess it's not a lot, considering the gears that I have, of course. So it's kind of small enough. It's not very complicated, but yes, this is currently my routing. All of this makes it kind of easy to just plug things in and then do other things. So yes, I hope this was useful. It is always for me, because I get to explain these sort of things, and also it kind of helps me understand even more as I'm explaining it. So yes, leave your thoughts below, and yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.